What's going on, everybody? So today I felt like I had to make a video about this because this is something that I've actually been kind of peering through and noticing as I've been basically going through all the different classes and their upgrades. Because if you guys didn't know, in this Essence Transfer system, you can actually go ahead and change your class in terms of what you're looking at. And you can see that the Essence Mastery system, first off, is not transferable between classes. You can see on Wizard, it literally shows 9 out of 30, and then I go to Barbarian, it's 0 out of 30. So it doesn't look like it's transferable between classes. And then also, I wanted to see the bonuses every class gives. So I want to share my findings here by comparing a pretty general sample Demon Hunter build, which I was just on, to a sample Wizard build, both for open world farming, just a general build, nothing too specific. This isn't about optimizing your builds or anything, but I wanted to compare the bonuses that you're getting between classes, because I think this could potentially be a huge issue going forward if they're not going to adjust and balance classes, because they haven't really shown to do all that much of that besides adding more legendary items, which, you know, won't really balance the classes too much in this case. So let me just go ahead and compare between the sample builds in Wizard and in Demon Hunter. So first off, for the Wizard here, some of the best helmets here that we're going to be using. Most likely, people are going to be using Mask of Illusions. This means that we're going to get our teleport cooldown reduced if we amp up our Essence Mastery. For the shoulder pieces, most people, you're going to use that Searing Judgment. This means that we're going to get a 6% damage increase on our main damaging ability. And then we're going to have the chest piece. There's quite a few people, but a lot of people actually use Frost Reaver's Garments. Why? Because it's the Ice Crystal plus the beam build where you're chaining and you're going to go ahead and just hit everyone in an AoE. That means that your damage on Ice Crystal is going to increase a little bit further. There's a few other options. Again, this is just a general build. Then people oftentimes will use the Galebringer's Leggings, which is another damage increase for your Arcane Wind, which is going to be that Tornado because of Wind Shaper. You'll see here, Arcane Wind damage again. We're going to go ahead and get more damage increase on that. And then in the offhand, we're going to get Unrepentant Gale, which is going to reduce that cooldown. So if I just do a quick recap, we're getting a lot of damage increase for our Tornado, damage increase for our Laser, Teleport cooldown reduction, the Tornado cooldown reduction, and we're getting just a ton of value out of that. Lots of damage increasing, lots of cooldown decreasing. Let's hop over to Demon Hunter here, and then let's just go through the items real quick here as well. For the Demon Hunter, there's obviously so many different helmets that you could use, but oftentimes, you know, I would just go with a pretty basic Cowl of Absolute Punishment. This helps with open world farming a lot of the times because you kind of just want to pop a multi-shot, 13% damage, so 3% damage increase there. As for shoulder pieces, again, there's so many different things that you could use, but I used to go with Hailfire a lot for open world content. You can see damage increased by 30% of this damage, so it's really not that big of a damage increase compared to like the entire skill damage increase, so don't be alarmed or fooled by that. For this one, we're oftentimes going to be going for Heart of Vengeance here. Cooldown decrease, they're 1.2%. As for pants, there's again a lot of different ones, but Ruinous Path is oftentimes a really good one when you're open world farming because you pop Vengeance, burst down an elite. It's a little bit of extra damage there. And then we have Flame Spite. Oftentimes, you know, we're going to get bonus damage from our multi-shot, so a little bit more multi-shot damage there. And then we have Hunger. Where is Hunger? That's going to be one of the most common offhands that we're going to be running. And this we have Crossbow Shot damage increased by 3%. So if we just went through that, we're comparing those two. You can see the damage numbers from Vengeance increasing, and from, like, for example, the basic attack here is only 3%. We're talking about Ruinous Path, it's like another 1.8%. This is a little bit of a cooldown reduction, which could be useful, could not be. Some people actually have cooldown decrease maxed out on Vengeance. So this, you know, especially if you have those Awakens, you're gonna not be able to go ahead and get value out of that one. And then we have just a little bit of damage increase for the multi-shot rockets, and then another 3% here. Again, if you go back to Wizard, you compare the two, we're looking at a massive damage increase here with 6%. The offhand is gonna be a big cooldown reduction, not big, but you know, we have another 6% damage here. We have 3% damage here. Overall, the difference between damage amping could be something to look at, right? I don't think it's like that game changing, meaning, you know, you're getting all damage increase with Vengeance. So that damage, even though it's a lower number, is giving you most likely comparable amount of damage. The crossbow shot, 3%. And if you compare that to like a basic attack one for the Wizard, like for example, Old Rustic, Now we're going to go ahead and have additional primary attack speed for additional amount of time. Let me see here. Where is I think there was an offhand that gives you more, what's it called? More magic missile. So yeah, magic missile, damage increase a little bit increase there. Electrocute, we have additional attack speed. So it's kind of hard to find a basic attack increasing one. Oh, Force of Heracus is a perfect example here. So magic missile, 26%. So you can see the difference. Crossbow shots, 3%. Magic missile is 6%. And magic missile, even though you have to be stationary, actually does a lot more damage because of this. So you could definitely see some comparisons. Like, again, strictly a basic attack increase. And Demon Hunter is 3%. For Wizard, it's 6% compared to, you know, again, when you're comparing the classes. If you just hop over, let's just do, I don't know, Barbarian real quick here again. And we're going to do... Let's see, is there a lacerate? Oh, that's a little bit of extra bleeding damage. Maybe there's another basic attack one. There's a basic attack one that increases your attack speed, I believe, for your frenzy here. Here we go. Well, that is, there we go. Oh, actually, wait. Frenzy damage increased by 3%. Perfect. So perfect example. That's going to be another frenzy damage increase. It's only 3%. Compare that to Wizard, it's 6%. I think that with Wizard being one of the strongest classes, Magic Missile being one of the most popular basic attack choices, and Force of Heracus actually being used quite a bit, especially in PvP, you could start to see as we expand these, assuming that the difference is going to stay the same, and we expand it, that 6% is going to be coming, let's say, 12%, whereas 3% is going to become 6%. And suddenly, you're talking about a 6% damage differential in that specific legendary item. And I think this could become a very, very big issue for balancing in PvP, especially for specific classes that I view, and as many people view, as stronger already. For example, Monk is one of those classes that has been really, really strong recently due to the recent changes that they've gotten. Wizard has always been top tier in terms of how much damage they can do. And when you're just talking about, you know, certain legendary items, for example, this is an item that not everyone uses, but I definitely want to test this out. Disintegrate range. This could become a massive disintegrate range where, you know, it's already oppressive and it can become even worse. So I think that this could definitely throw some loops, some wrenches into the plans for Blizzard in terms of balancing. And I'd love to be able to go ahead and test out some more builds because there's so many different things on Wizard I want to test out. But I think this could be a little concerning as we go forward and expand our Essence Mastery. Because again, I can't say for certain whether or not this is going to be the case, but assuming that the first upgrade is already a difference in advancement, 6% versus 3%, I'm going to assume that later on as you get levels, that difference is going to get bigger and bigger because it already started out with a difference. So something to look out for in the future. And I think that this could become a very big issue in PvP. Obviously in PvE, I have no issues with it. PvE is a PvE game mode, right? You're playing against the computers. The stronger you are, the more you benefit your players and your teammates anyways. So it doesn't really matter for me there. All I'm concerned about is for those people that enjoy PvP, you could really see some people probably skyrocketing ahead in terms of value in their legendary essences compared to a lot of other people due to this idea of having some legendary essences getting massive damage increases over some other builds. And of course, if you're running certain items, let's say on a build, I don't know, like Crusader, I'm just curious about this because I haven't checked this out. This is something that I used to play a ton earlier on in the game. You know, you might be running Arrow Keeper. Now you get some banner cooldown. That could help you a lot, right? But in PvP, you might not be running banner. You might be running, I don't know, many-eyed Aegis, damage increase, which, you know, may not do much for you compared to someone else who's ranged and getting that damage increase, right? The damage increase for melee classes tends to be a little bit not as valuable as the range classes because you can't get your damage off as easily. So this definitely, again, the more you load up damage evenly between ranged and melee classes, the ranged classes are going to outpace the melee classes because the melee classes won't be able to get in the fight, right? They're just going to die off. So again, I find this very interesting as you go through. I love this system, by the way, guys. Just to give you guys my impressions of the system, I absolutely love this. It's so fun, so engaging, and I wish I had a little bit more time. I've been going to the gym recently. You know, I had to get off my greasy Diablo butt here and try not to sit around all day. But we're going to be going ahead and starting up the grind a lot here in the next couple of days. I plan on being, 5-6 levels above Silver Paragon if I have the time to go ahead and grind a bunch, because I am so hyped about these legendary items and I have so many builds to test. So if you guys want to check out more Diablo content, be sure to sub to the channel, because I'm going to be doing a ton of it, especially for the wizard with a lot of different builds, especially with the new items. I'm so excited to test all these out. And of course, we have Hell 7 gear about to be active for a lot of people. We're about 3, 4, 5 days away for the majority of people to being able to access Hell 7, and that's going to be super exciting as well. So stay tuned for all of that, guys. Let me know what your opinions are on this in the comment section down below. Have you noticed one class being super unbalanced compared to another class? Again, the main thing I'm worried about is honestly the range classes being so far and above the melee classes due to their massive damage increases because of how high damage is already. For the range classes, I think this could be a very serious problem going into the future. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.